$1.2 million from CBI funds for infrastructural projects in Pilit Savan constituency. The first ever Ragga Creole to be staged this month end, expected to stir up competition for the World Creole Music Festival, and the Chinese to play a major role in construction of Pilit Savan settlement at Bellevue Chopin. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details coming up. Topping the news, contracts were signed on Thursday totaling $1.2 million for infrastructural projects in 3 vulnerable communities in the Pilit Savan constituency. MP for Pilit Savan Honorable Kenneth Daru handed over a check for over $547,000 to the chairman of the Bellevue Chopin Village Council for construction of the Grenville and Playing Field roads and completion of the Lessoir Road. Over $365,000 went to Bagatelle Fonseja Village Council, $200,000 to complete the road network in Stowe, and $154,000 for the Fonseja Link Road. Pishnay Village Council received $300,000 for construction of a retaining wall, which will protect the recreational center area, which includes a new basketball court. It was noted that these projects highlight the importance of the CBI program, which is making these funds available.
While I think some people are trying to destroy this program, we have to, especially those of us living in the rural areas and where, for example, we see improvement in our community roads, where monies are now being made to help people with small business, and the washroom, what we call the elimination of pit latrine or washroom program, we have to appreciate and pray that this program continues to be as successful as it has been. Because without this source of funding, as we speak, okay, none of what we see happening now would be happening. The government would just be concentrating on maybe the grants and maybe the soft loan that it would have received post-Erica, building the bridges, and the main roads, etc. But all of these community enhancement roads projects that we're seeing right now is made possible through proceeds of funds from the Citizenship by Investment Program.
On to entertainment now. An inaugural event geared at gaining the popularity and status of the World Creole Music Festival will be held this month end. The first ever Ragga Creole event is spearheaded by J.R. Stephan & Company Limited, along with the support from other private sector partners and the government of Dominica.
The primary focus is to achieve market expansion and economic stimulation, and to increase the number of stay-over visitors. And it's also to add another unique attraction to Dominica. So for the first year, the initial target markets are the Martinican, the Guadeloupean, and the St. Lucian markets. And the date chosen also was best suited for that market, and also ideally for us to create a high season out of a traditionally low season. So I think Ragga Creole strengthens Dominica's unique brand, which we say the land of Creole festivals, by adding yet another Creole festival, Ragga Creole.
Director of Tourism Colin Piper commended the private sector for taking the lead on such a landmark event.
I welcome the initiative. I will have my notebook out behind the scenes, seeing what we can learn and see how we can do things differently, seeing how the general public reacts when it's private sector versus public sector, just taking into account all these things, because it has the potential to be a winning formula. And it's something that we have proposed and tried to, and certainly supported and tried to continue to advocate for, that private sector to a certain extent take the lead on some of these things. Get your brand out there, get what it is that you need in terms of return on investment in putting some of these initiatives together.
Minister for Tourism Robert Tong applauded the move, saying such events help with income generation in the country.
We understand how important these events are to our country. Based on the studies that were done for Creole Festival, when you have these events in a country, persons spend between 7 to 9 times the amount that the organizers spend. So if you spend $1 million on the event, in terms of the economy, people are spending as much as $7 million. So the government may not necessarily benefit immediately, but over a period of time, they will benefit because persons have to buy drinks, persons have to go to hotels, so taxes are collected, VAT are collected, and all persons in the economy benefit as a result of that.
The artists to perform at the first ever Ragga Creole event at the stadium forecourt on the 29th of April are Colton T, Atonia, and Fanatic Band from Dominica, Admiral T from Guadeloupe, Pi from Martinique, and Luciano and Mac Diamond from Jamaica. More news now. The Dominica Taxi Association has expressed concerns with what it describes as inadequate cruise ship welcome centers, as this month marks the end of the cruise season. Vice President of the Dominica Taxi Association, Francis Esprit, told Channel 5 News limited space at both the Roseau cruise ship berth and Woodbridge Bay port continue to pose a challenge for taxi operators on a cruise day.
Our two locations that we use currently, the port, Woodbridge Bay port, and the Roseau cruise ship berth, there is insufficient space for the operations that have to take place at those sites when the cruise ship is in port. Because the cruise ship comes in, and then within the first 2 hours, you have to cater for a lot of demands by the cruise ship. You have tours going out, a lot of tours going out between, let's say, 8 and 10 o'clock. And we have to be able to move the vehicles, the tour guides, and the venue itself does not make it possible to do a fluid arrangement of organizing of the movement of the persons involved in the industry.
Another issue, he explained, is that the ports are not exclusive to tourist activity and other people enter into the restricted area on a cruise day.
Well, the Woodbridge Bay port, an area has been set aside, so, and we are able to work even if there are cruise ships. But you still have the limitation in the Roseau area. There's still insufficient space because you are right next to the city. You have persons, you are right into the city. You have parking limitations. You have persons coming into the restricted area, for example, that have to use the bank services. And you next to the public area, and persons come into the restricted area as well. So there's a lot of work for the organizers of the tours, as well as the port security that has to be very flexible when relating to persons that intervene into the compound.
The Labour Party administration has proposed a cruise village on the site of the Kinfield Airport, with the Board of Directors of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority already approving the plan. Esprit says the Taxi Association supports the proposed project.
The problems we have with limited space and persons who are not involved in the industry having to interact with you, a specific location, a cruise ship village, would be most welcome as a step forward for the industry.
And OECS member states are being advised to update their statistics legislation in order to keep up with the times. The remarks came from Gail Archibald of the OECS Commission as she addressed the launching of the regional strategy for the development of statistics this week.
Each country has a national statistical office, upon which the authority is conferred to coordinate, to develop, produce, and disseminate official statistics. And it's called official statistics because there's a legislation that gives that stats office, the NSO, the authority to do the work that it does. And among our countries, I think the oldest act is 1960, and more recently, I think 2005. And some of our member states are in the process of revising the legislation. There's nothing wrong with the Statistical Act, but there's so much innovation in statistical development. There are new ways of collecting data. It means that the legislation has to reflect it.
Archibald also called on regional governments to show greater appreciation for the work of the Statistical Office.
To get the RSDS implemented, we need resources, we need investment in statistics, and there are many modes of getting that. Certainly, grants, if you can keep your debt to GDP ratio low, certainly you can get some grants. We don't usually see loans for statistical development, but things are tough. But what we'd like to see a lot more of is government investment in statistics. We'd like to see the budget reflect more than just salaries for the statisticians. We have to celebrate our successes. We have to celebrate and acknowledge our statisticians. We can't keep them in the back office. There's a lot of work going in the back office, but we need them at the table. When there are cabinet decisions, we want the ministers to bring the statisticians into the conversation.
Meantime, OECS Commissioner for St. Kitts and Nevis, Ambassador Sidney Osborne, predicts the RSDS will change the statistical landscape of the OECS.
I would say that the OECS RSDS is a game changer and must now be used as a tool to fill this void and sustain a data-smart region. It promises to revolutionize our statistics and develop our societies. It lays out a transformative agenda that uses data from us, about us, for us.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, the leader of the opposition and him being denied access to his office by police. Thank you for staying with us. A Chinese team to advance construction at the Petit Savan settlement community in Bellevue-Chopin. MP for Petit Savan Kenneth Darrow told Channel 5 News on Thursday over 200 locals will be employed on that project, but the developers are looking for people who can work efficiently and speedily.
Now, in terms of the larger resettlement of Petit Savan, things are progressing nicely. I know that the construction company, the Chinese construction company which would have been engaged or subcontracted by MMC, the developers would be on island. And they're well in their advanced stage of doing the living quarters, etc. So soon we should see an influx of these of the construction workers. Now, in addition to the Chinese construction company, we are also looking at employing over 200 local masons and other skilled workers. So I'm employing the young men and women, of the community, the constituency, to please make themselves available. Because oftentimes, we have people say, okay, we see other people working on the project, okay, but they have to make themselves available. They have to go out and look and register their name as to their skill set, etc. We would have seen a lot of excavation works completed, the playing field, what the Bellevue community like to refer to as a mini mall. We call it the commercial center, which is right next to the playing field, and also for a community center.
A new health center will now form part of the facilities at the new Petit Savan settlement at Bellevue-Chopin. The Bellevue-Chopin Primary School will also be expanded to accommodate Petit Savan students.
So I don't want people to look at it that these amenities are being built just for the incoming Petit Savan residents. And if you would have noticed, I'm sure, that these were situated strategically between the existing community and the new community, so that so that the community can then share them. We would have also seen the development of most of the road infrastructure. Most of the roads would have been cut and, of course, tarnished. Of course, I've been informed that they wouldn't do the surfacing until all of the homes are built, because you will have a lot of passage of heavy equipment to and fro. So the actual surfacing of the road, final surfacing of the road will be done after all the homes are built. And if you go towards the existing housing scheme area, you would see that some foundations have already been put in place.
The MP says Tisavan residents are complaining much less now, as they have been enjoying comfortable accommodation paid for by government. In other news now, leader of the opposition Lennox Linton is questioning the move by police to block him from entering his office in the House of Assembly on Tuesday. Linton says police officers stood guard in the courtyard while an officer instructed him to leave. He says he was denied access to the building even if under the Constitution he has a right to be there. He added that at the time staff were carrying out their duties as usual. This took place while an anti-government pressure group was protesting outside.
Since that incident, I've seen a number of comments. And there are people who flat out just refuse to accept that as the leader of the opposition, I have a right to be in this building, in the office assigned to me. And that on Tuesday morning, as I said, not that I owe anybody any explanation as to what I came here for or what I came to do. I don't need to report to anybody. The Constitution does not require me to report to anybody if and when I wish to visit my office and for what purpose. We have reached a stage in Dominica where people are bold enough, they are brazen enough to try to defend that and to try to put me in bad light for being angry about an injustice.
Linton disagrees with the view that the police officer was simply doing his job.
What was that? He was preventing an officer of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica, duly elected, duly appointed, with the instruments that I read to you and showed you just now, from entering his office in the Parliament building of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
The police chief recently denied a UWP request for a march in the city, pointing to an ongoing investigation into the events which followed a UWP meeting on February 7. The police chief made reference to the business places which suffered loss from vandalism and the police officers who came under attack. And the owner of 14-year-old Ruins Rock Cafe says despite government's plans for a vendor's arcade at his business's location, he is not deterred about investing in the tourism sector. Serge Lom told Channel 5 News he continues to run his business there even after government has purchased the building.
Well, the government acquired the building after I was in already. So they still wanted to put a vendor's arcade in it. I think the plan maybe still stands, I don't really know. But I think they still want me to get out.
Lom wants to remind tourism authorities that Ruins Rock Cafe has built a good reputation for the old market square, and it would be a blow to the tourism sector if it is to shut down one day.
Well, I still love my government very much, and I love the flaws in our laws because this is Dominica. But I guess one day they will understand that maybe after I die, they will understand what I was doing for my country. Let's just imagine on a Sunday, a cruise ship coming down and Ruins is closed, or even High Rise Beach Bar is closed. What is there for them to do? Okay, so if you put a vendor's arcade on 3 floors, they can get that home. So what is it going to happen?
That's news. Sports is next with Kenny Williams.
First up in sports, defending champion St. Lucia defeated Dominica by 7 wickets in the Winlot Inc. WICB Under-15 cricket tournament on Thursday. Dominica won the toss and elected to bat first, scoring 150 all out in 45.5 overs. Majid Peltier had an unbeaten 84, while Neo Davis added 27. Udell Purville took 4 for 24 and Tyron Theodore 2 for 8. Set 151 for victory, St. Lucia equaled the target with the loss of 3 batsmen in 34.4 overs. Akeem Ogis 62 and Zidane Arthur 28. Kyron Phillip picked up 2 for 29 and Michael Riviere 1 for 31. Meanwhile, Dominica beat St. Vincent by 69 runs in Wednesday's encounter. Batting first, Dominica made 253 all out with 57 from Majid Peltier, Clemenson LeBlanc 36, Yawani Regis 30, Jed Joseph 29, Michael Riviere 28 and Jeremiah Joseph 25. Handel Roban took 3 for 31 and O.J. Matthew 3 for 60. In reply, St. Vincent could only reach 185 in 47 overs. Irvin Warrican 42 and O.J. Matthew 38. Michael Riviere snatched 2 for 22, Tyrese LeBlanc 3 for 23 and Savio Anselm 2 for 53. On to football, where the local governing body on the sport is making plans to improve its product moving forward. This as the Dominica Football Association will have a stakeholders consultation at the Garaway Hotel this Saturday.
The objectives of the forum are to look at the status of the game on island and to plan the way forward from the consultation. A 4-year strategic plan will be put together. The DFA President, Mr. Glenn Etienne, will deliver the welcome remarks, while the Technical Director, Mr. Jerome Badwell, will deliver a situation analysis presentation.
In related sports, the Dominic Women's League continues this Saturday with 2 matches. At Benjamin's Park, we have West Coast Jaguars up against New Generation, while over at Newtown it will be Dive Dominica Harlem United versus Bombers Starlights. Both matches are scheduled for Saturday at 4 in the afternoon. Meantime, Grand Four Primary won the 2017 National Bank of Dominica Primary School Boys Championships with a hard-fought 3-1 win on Wednesday. The game was 1-1 at the end of regular and extra time, but Calibishi Primary proved to be no match for Grand Four when they won the match at Benjamin's Park.
Hats off to Calibishi, who played a very good game, and the number 10 was very good, but we fought through it all and came with a victory today. We were close last year. We came out in semi-finals last year and pretty much was the same team. And then we had some great players with us still, like Adria Lawrence and Shekel and Dequan, so it really helped us for today.
Williams says credit must go to Wayne Phillip for the development of the sport in his area.
It's a building process, and I must give hats off to Wayne Phillip, who is the academic coach in the area, and he does a very good job every Saturday with the youths. And that helps in my program too, because the boys are well trained and well organized. So I think we can give a fight next year.
Brandon George is coach of the Calibishi side.
They were playing tight, but we could win this. We could win that game. Next time, we'll just play harder and score chances. Once we score chances, we can win the games.
Meantime, in the girls' final, we had Woodford Hill dominating play, netting 2-0 against W.S. Stevens Primary to be crowned champions. Tisa Di Africa and Nakira Darul were the scorers for Woodford Hill. On the basketball scene, we can tell you that Detroit Blazers bested Thunderers 72-41 in the only game played in the Flow DABA League on Wednesday. In a winning effort, Nathan John Jules contributed a game high of 14, including 10 rebounds, with the closest scoring team member being Gifford George's 8. For Thunderers, we had Craig Angle with 10 points and 8 rebounds. Shaka and Hakeem Dangleben added 8 points each. The Division I match between Thunderers and Detroit Blazers did not take place since Thunderers forfeited. Sports continues with cycling because President of the local association is calling on all on Sundry to do their part in assisting the local team prepare for a major race here, particularly motorists. The Dominica Cycling Association is getting ready to host the 2017 OECS Cycling Championships.
On many occasions, especially a Tuesday morning, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, you will see you will see the team practicing. I just urging all motorists to have a little bit of courtesy for us, because at the end of the day, it is very important that we promote health and safety, and that we do not want any of the persons taking part who will be representing Dominica to have any issues with accidents and so.
Charles says hosting the June 18 event will be history in the making for cycling in Dominica.
We are expecting approximately 80 cyclists on island. Again, maybe the record will show, but you will know that I don't think all or that number of cyclists have ever assembled in Dominica for the past 20 or 30 years. And somebody can maybe correct me. Never. So we are making history. And that is why we want everybody to circle June the 18th. It's called Cycling Day in the A.
Next up, Jerome Taylor has formally indicated to the West Indies Cricket Board that he has come out of retirement and is available for selection for Test cricket. This decision means he is now available for selection in all 3 formats of the game. Last July, the 32-year-old fast bowler announced his retirement from the longest version of the game. Taylor believes he still has a lot of cricket left in him and he can be an asset to the team in the Test format. Taylor has played 46 tests, taking 130 wickets at 34.46 apiece, with best figures of 6 for 47 against Australia in June 2015. He has also scored 856 runs, with a top score of 106 against New Zealand in December 2008. Finally, in sports, league coordinator of the 2017 island-wide White Oak Rum Domino competition describes the games as successful and exciting. Recently, the Dangerous Public Enemies was awarded champion of the league, defeating Wake Up Stars 4,011 to 3,219.
The domino competition this year was a tremendous competition. It was a very hard-fought competition, and in the end, it was a very successful competition. And the objective of the competition in summary is to have a very good competition, and the White Oak was on board first. I'm going to thank the sponsors, Fine Food Inc., through Whitewood again, for coming aboard and sponsor a major tournament of that nature. And we're hoping that it can continue in the future, and we'll continue to work with Fine Food. But again, I want to say congratulations to all the teams that took part in the competition. But as you know, in the end, the Dangerous Public Enemies are the champion. I'm feeling pretty good.
The first place Dangerous Public Enemies walked away with $3,000. Second place was awarded $1,000 and a trophy, while third place got $500 and a trophy. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
Let's now check in with the Met Office for the latest weather update.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janelle Macpherson. Weak unstable conditions continue to produce multi-layered clouds across the region today. Visible satellite imagery showed mainly high-level clouds across Dominica this afternoon, resulting in partly cloudy skies. Radar imagery indicated scattered showers mainly across the Leeward Islands. The weather for tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy with a few scattered showers. Tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy with some scattered showers expected mainly during the afternoon period. Seas tomorrow slight to moderate, waves peaking up to 5 feet. Looking ahead to the weekend, weak unstable conditions will continue to produce cloudiness and scattered showers throughout the 3-day period. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy skies and scattered showers are expected. On the international cities forecast, partly cloudy skies expected in New York, Miami and Beijing, thunderstorm activity in Caracas, and cloudy skies for the City of London. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:51 a.m. and sunset at 6:20 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please call our weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit our website at weather.gov.dm. Thank you for viewing and have a good weekend.
To end the news, the headlines again. $1.2 million from CBI funds for infrastructural projects in Pilit-Savan constituency. The first ever Ragga Creole to be staged this month end, expected to stop competition for the World Creole Music Festival. And the Chinese to play a major role in construction of Pilit-Savan settlement at Bellevue-Chopin. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can access the news on YouTube. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. To our viewers around the world, happy Easter and thanks for watching.